Alexander G. Schauss, Ph.D., FACN, is the author of numerous books and published papers in the field of nutrition and botanical medicine found in a wide range of scientific journals. He is a former professor of natural products research at the National College of Naturopathic Medicine, senior research director at the Southwest College Research Institute, associate professor of research at the Southwest College of Naturopathic Medicine, and instructor in biostatistics and epidemiology at Bastyr University.
There's nothing more exciting than finding a product that really makes a difference. And I think what really impressed me this morning was listening to one key concept: you have to have the right product. And without the right product, all the rest of it is smoke and mirrors. And we see a lot of products in the nutraceutical industry which make a lot of claims, but they don't really have a good, strong foundation of science. My job today is to talk to you a little bit about the science, particularly the main ingredient, acai, which Latin is Euterpe oleracea. This is a product that has been used traditionally for several hundred years that we can actually document. If you want to make a difference as a scientist, as you travel around the world, look for the absence of diseases in a human population. Try to find out if the absence is due to something in the diet, and then determine whether, in fact, that element in the diet accounts for why you see so few of those diseases that are common in your culture. In the forests of Brazil, of the 2,700 different palm trees, we have found that acai, which is also known in about 20 different synonyms in that region, so there's a lot of different names for it, depending on the language and the native population that you talk to, is the only one that has this unusual nutritional composition that I'll be going over with you. There's no pollution in that area. There are no roads there at all. There's no diesel fuel, gasoline fuel. And for 2,300 miles west of where these trees grow is the Andes Mountains, and there's no industry there as well. They're totally sheltered and protected. Acai palms grow with absolutely no fertilizers, no chemicals. They are duply certified as organic in Brazil by the Brazilian government. It has every essential and non-essential amino acids that humans require. Another very interesting finding. So every amino acid has been identified in the product. Oxygen, as you know, gives us life, but it also can cause damaging oxidative stress that can lead to cell damage. We call this oxidative stress. Smoking cigarettes, breathing polluted air, suffering physical injury, exposure to radiation, mental stress. That's right, mental stress causes oxidation in the brain. And we now know that's contributing to neurodegenerative diseases that are afflicting millions of Americans. Infection, disease, and inflammation can all cause oxidative stress. Think of it as the damaging effect of rust on metal. Whereas in humans, it accelerates the aging process and age-related diseases. So let me just give you a little quick education on free radicals. There are 6 different biologically relevant reactive oxygen species which we call free radicals. The peroxyl radical is thought to be the most important because it's the most damaging in the human body. It turns out acai has the highest peroxyl radical scavenging activity of any food in the world. The ORAC, as we call it, which stands for the Oxygen Radical Absorbance Capacity Assay, is a rigorously validated test that has been published numerous times in the top nutrition journals in the world. And by the way, the USDA declared that in the last 112 years is the greatest discovery in analytical chemistry that has occurred. Of all the methods of preservation that we tested, we looked at spray dry, thin filming, sun drying, dehydration, whatever we tried. With the acai berry, the one method that we found that just locks in those nutrients was freeze drying. So we've done all of our research on it because clearly that is the best type of acai fruit pulp to use. And we've been doing this now for years. until we were convinced that our discovery of the unusually rich antioxidant level was not a fluke. And our data found that the freeze-dried acai had by far the highest antioxidant activity of any fruit or vegetable tested by the USDA. A lot of times when people tell you how rich their product is because they've got these berries in there, and then they cite these ORAC findings, they're talking about the wild, which is not commercially available. In summary, no matter how one tries to compare fruits and vegetables to freeze-dried acai, it's always superior in oxygen radical absorbance capacity activity in vitro to any other antioxidant-containing fruit or vegetable. You've heard about people saying, drink a lot of red wine, for example, with dinner. 1 glass of acai is the equivalent of 30 glasses of red wine. That's an accurate comparison. What are its health benefits? Well, dietary antioxidants are believed to be effective nutrients in the prevention of oxidative stress-related diseases. Because acai contains a number of proanthocyanins, it may even do more than reduce the risk of diseases. It may actually delay some signs of aging, since oxidative stress causes the most visible signs of aging on our skin. Now, oxidative stress can damage vascular endothelium, that's the skin inside of our arteries and capillaries, a process that, if not kept in check, can lead to atherosclerosis. 1% of the total oxygen that you're consuming right now as you're sitting here and breathing is converted to a free radical called superoxide anion. Now, superoxide causes all of these other reactive oxygen species to form, including hydrogen peroxide, peroxynitrate, and hydroxyl radicals, those terrible damaging. So it starts there with superoxide. So what you actually want to do is you want something that acts as a first line of defense so that those other free radicals aren't forming, right? So until now, and this was just work we finished about a year and a half ago, the highest SOD, or superoxide dismutase activity, is the way you scavenge this SOD, that has ever been reported in the literature was sprouted wheatgrass. And I'm sure some of you have gone to health food stores and got a shot of wheatgrass. And that's the reason why, because it's rich in SOD. Great stuff. And it has ranged in research studies from 160 to 500 units per gram. Well, it turns out that acai is over 300% higher in superoxide scavenging activity than the best wheatgrass based on the in vitro SOD assay. Hence, acai has the potential to significantly increase the immune system's first line of defense against oxidative stress. It gets better. Inflammation is a response of the immune system to chemical or physical assault or resistance to pathogens. In fact, anyone who's obese and overweight is actually looking in the mirror at an example of inflammation. Their entire body is inflamed. So doing anything to help with inflammation is critically important to our health. Well, one of the ways we reduce acute or chronic inflammation is to inhibit the activity of a compound we call cyclooxygenase, or COX-2. By performing the COX inhibitory assay, it was discovered that acai has COX-2 inhibitory activity without the adverse events associated with nonsteroidal anti-inflammatory drugs or synthetic COX inhibitors. Interesting, again, something this little berry from the Amazon has. So what we get here with the freeze-dried acai being added, rehydrated, is we're getting potent antioxidant activity in healthy human cells. And those are going to protect those cells from the free radical activity that's occurring all around them all the time, which is one of the reasons why you get this quick recovery in a week or two that people have.